Okay, we have a lot of students joining from Mysore and Bangalore, Hyderabad, Kashmir as well. Thank you for joining in. Just another minute. Hello, Kavya. Pooja, please let me know when you're good to start.
Sure, just give me a sec.
Yeah. Anybody has any questions? If you already come prepared with questions, what would you like to ask in terms of your career? Just use the Q&A box to park your questions. Hi, Niharika. Hi, Ashi. Okay, I think we have Pan India. Okay, ma'am, how will you decide internship for whom to select? I think these questions will be taken by the Myntra team. I think this time, I think rather than asking these questions, because I know this is also very important for you, but I think since we have the Myntra leaders here who, have had an excellent career journey, maybe utilize the session in asking how, how to do what you should do and like how to explore the career options. Okay, now we're getting questions about internships of internships. Okay, Salora, if you could, keep an eye on the Q&A as well, you and Pooja.
Yeah, sure, Pooja.
Guys, thank you for joining in on time. I'm just, running a little bit behind schedule. So another minute or so. Thank you for appreciating the concept of the session. The intent is actually, to give you a platform wherein you are able to access leaders, which otherwise, we wouldn't know how to connect. So thank you for appreciating that. So maybe we can utilize this time and maybe talk about what is the aspirations if because everybody is joining to the Myntra session today. If you could share about what are your career aspirations in terms of the e-commerce industry. Use the chat box. Let's take this time to actually know each other and talk a little bit about what we want to learn and what we would like to discuss. Hi, Nisha from Hyderabad. Oh, Tunga loves content creation. Nice. I think in interest of time, should we start and then Pooja, can we start?
Yes, Pooja, let's start the session. Yeah.
Okay, great. Okay. A very good evening to everyone who joined in today, and thank you for joining in and being patient with us. Sorry, we had a little bit of delay here, but nonetheless, let's move on. So, I'm Pooja Kanwar. I'm part of the corporate partnerships team here at Aspire for Her, and I'm also leading the she-commerce community. Joining me today are my colleagues, Preeti Bhaskaran. She's also from the corporate partnerships team and also helps in managing the she-commerce community. Then we also have Ruchita Tandon, who's our Chief Growth Officer, joining us today, and Farisha, our Operations Manager. And from the Myntra team, we have joining us today Pooja Ghodke. She's the Deputy Director, Human Capital. Hema Patricia, we're still waiting for Hema. We also have Sonora joining us today. She's also from the Learning and Development team. And the esteemed panelists joining us today are Vindhya Shanmugam, Senior Director of Engineering at Myntra, and Jayanti Ganguly, who is the Vice President, Core Business Fashion. Thank you for joining, everyone. Thank you to all the students and I think other community members who've taken time out to join this in very interesting session under a very interesting program that we have, started with Myntra. I will come back to the details of that. But before moving forward, just a couple of, points to take care of during the session. Kindly keep yourself on mute. Questions will be answered at the end of the session. I can see a couple of you raising your hands. You can park your questions in the Q&A box. And like I said, let us utilize this session, to ask questions from the leaders in terms of what kind of, career options you have, what kind of, career aspirations you can have and explore as well. And the team will also be answering your questions about the internships as well. There may be a couple of glitches here and there since we are joining in virtually, but we'll manage it nonetheless. And we are going to present you with a couple of polls. The intent is to, kind of know you better. So with this, I would like to bring up the first set of polls. If you could have them, Farisha, please. So there are a set of three questions, if you could just scroll down and answer. The first one is basically which community do you belong to? Women in college, emerging professionals, return to work, so on. And if you scroll down, the second question is the purpose of joining She-commerce community, if you could make one selection. And the third question is what do you hope to achieve from this session? So I'm just going to give it about 30 seconds. It would be great if everybody, uh, attempted to answer these because it kind of gives us a sense, what you're looking for, and it helps us curate future sessions as well. Okay, we have Hema here also now. Welcome, Hema. And with this, I'm going to end the polls. I hope, okay, I'll just give it another 10 seconds. I can see that some of you are already still, filling it up. Is everybody able to see the polls? If you're not, I can read out the questions and maybe you can just use the chat box to answer. No, Ujala. Okay, Ujala, the questions are you a woman in college? Are you an emerging professional? Okay, a lot of you are not able to, not sure. But these are basically, we would like to know, what stage of, your career are you at? Are you a woman who's studying? Are you an emerging professional? Are you a women leader? Are you somebody who's returning back to work? Or are you an entrepreneur or someone else? Maybe you can use the chat box. The second question is, what is the purpose of joining the She-commerce community? Learning and upskilling is one of the options. Employment, internship, that at the moment looks like the winner. Entrepreneurship opportunities, so 1%, 2% of you would like to actually get into entrepreneurship. Mentoring is what 2% of you looking for, and others. And the third question is, sorry, what do you hope to achieve from this session? Understanding the culture, corporate culture, enhancing communication skills, learning workplace etiquettes, gaining insight. So I think that is a good mix. So I think with this, I will end the polls. So yes, I think most of you are joining in for college, as I can see, and internships and employments is what you're looking at. But what I like is the answer here as well, that you're looking to understand the whole corporate culture, communication skills, etiquette. So yeah, this is the perfect session that we are conducting today. So, moving forward, I know that most of you have been with us for a while now, and you know what we stand for. Just for the benefit, I would like to give a small introduction for the new people who are joining us today. So, as it is known that being a woman in a professional, environment presents its unique set of opportunities and challenges. Not saying that men don't. We do agree that they do, but I said it is widely recognized that, that women have, and I think additional set of hurdles that we need to cross to reach our end goal. And to truly thrive in such an environment in today's day and age and to advance in one's career, we have to build a strong, skill set, which is essential. That happens through continuous learning and development. And the key is to, stay competitive and to unlock new opportunities, look at new avenues, just not be typecast in one certain section that you have. So at Aspire for her, we truly recognize the importance of, having such a strong support system to navigate this journey into the, the big bad corporate world, a very interesting one as well. And we're very proud to collaborate with Myntra here, on such a meaningful initiative like She-commerce. The aim for which is to, empower women to achieve their full potential in the e-commerce industry and beyond that as well. We are proud, and we're also very proud that this she-commerce community was launched, I think, less than a year ago in the month of June only last year, and we're already a 10,000 member strong community, which has women entrepreneurs in it, which has students in it, which has returnee women in it, which has women leaders. So I think it's a very holistic community, which I think the new members should definitely leverage on. And I'm hoping that the existing members are already leveraging on all the resources that have been given to you. So She Sparks is another excellent initiative, that has been taken up under the She-commerce community. And the entire intent of the She Sparks program is to create, a bridge, which we have seen since like the Myntra team has also seen being in the industry and being the industry leaders, that there's a gap that needs to be bridged within the by equipping the young women with the skills and the industry exposure that is required, to be prepared for the corporate world. So as a part of the She-commerce, She Sparks initiative, we are conducting this 3-session course. First session has already been done, which was on corporate readiness, which kind of gave you a perspective in terms of, there's certain expectations that you have when you're entering and vis-a-vis the corporate also has from you. So how to manage those expectations. It was a wonderful session. If you missed the session, it is on the She-commerce page, which I'll be sharing the link. You can go to the learnings and actually go and listen. We had Hema talk about her perspective as well. And also we had an industry leader, Ms. Soma, come in and, talk about how to manage those expectations. So do take time out and, look at that page as well. So we are very excited now to have this second session with us also, wherein we have, the Myntra leaders come in and they're going to talk to you about what kind of, career opportunities you can look at, their own career journey, which is, anyways, very inspiring. So with this, I would like to welcome the Myntra team. I would like to start by introducing the panelists today. We have Jayanti Ganguly. Jayanti is a seasoned fashion industry leader with 20 years of experience spanning brick, mortar, and e-commerce. As the Vice President of Fashion Business at Myntra, she drives strategic growth in India's dynamic retail landscape. Previously, she held senior leadership positions at Flipkart, Aditya Birla, and Nike. With the deep expertise in crafting and executing winning strategies, she has been instrumental in shaping the future of fashion retail. A warm welcome, Jayanti. I've interacted with you in the past, and I'm very excited, that this community is also going to get to interact with you and also gain a lot from you.
Thank you and look forward.
Thank you. Next, joining us, we have Vindhya Shanmugam. With over 20 years of experience in the software industry, Vindhya is a senior director of engineering at Myntra, leading teams across the storefront customer growth, search, loyalty, and engagement, and checkout and payments. A technologist and an innovator, she has spearheaded key advancements in the fashion retail, including My Fashion GPT, vernacular search, virtual try on, and Gen AI products. Gen AI, I think everyone knows, it's like, I think, a must have now. Previously, Vindhya was at Visa Inc. and EMC, and she holds two patents and actively mentors through hackathons and technical blogs. A warm welcome to you, Vindhya. And I
Thank
think anybody who's attended the sessions of Philoshi Commerce already knows Hema. But Hema, welcome. Hema is the moderator for today's fireside chat. Hema is the Senior Director, Human Capital. I will give a small introduction, Hema, though I know you don't want me to. Hema heads the HR business partnering vertical for all business units at Myntra. She also leads the DE&I and Learning Talent Development Charter at Myntra. She's committed to fostering a culture of inclusivity and belonging. And we've been fortunate to be connected with Hema for the past year. And I think her passion to bring these programs to light and actually to get them to the community is also great. So warm welcome to you, Hema, and over to you for the fireside chat.
Thanks a lot, Pooja. And like you said, I told my team, keep my introduction to one line. I think I am one, apart from the AFH team, I think I am one constant face. Hopefully, this community sees. And very happy to see, just like the last time, we have, close to 1,000 odd participants from across different, streams, particularly students, which is the target audience for She Sparks also. And we have very fortunate and lucky that Jayanti and Vindhya, both representing different facets of e-commerce, have kindly agreed to come and speak to this community over here. So, in without wasting a lot of time, I'll quickly jump on to a set of questions. And the way we have curated the session is there will be some questions around their personal stories, and there'll be a set of questions which really helps us understand around the thought process as both of them, curated their journey, which eventually has landed them in e-commerce. But both of them have not really born and brought up e-commerce specialists. And I don't think anybody is because e-commerce itself is a fairly new industry as such. So with that, maybe I'll first start with Jayanti in terms of, just briefly, Jayanti, while Pooja did touch on your brief about the kind of experiences you've had. If I were to just ask you summarize your career journey so far, right? What would it be?
Yeah, no, Hema, thanks. And again, it's amazing to be a part of this community and group. I always look forward to, just like you guys look forward to hearing from us. We look forward to your questions, your answers. It energizes us as well. So yeah, if I were to look at my journey, you're right, Hema. E-commerce is too new for everybody to say that they have made a large, long career in e-commerce. But if I were to look back on my career, I started out as a NIFT graduate. So my experience was in fashion management, and from hence on, I had done everything that is there to be done in fashion. So whether it be looking at or running offline retail, doing buying and merchandising, retail operations, looking at the core product that it's to be designed or to be produced, working in factories, I think I've done all of that. And done that, very fortunate to have done that in some of the very renowned brands like Louis Philippe, Van Heusen, which is a part of the Aditya Birla group. Was went on to work with Nike, which gave me a lot of global exposure as well. And footwear is a completely different take altogether. So that was a journey. And then when Flipkart happened, and I was very, very fortunate to join Myntra. And at that point of time, Myntra had a beautiful center of excellence, where we were trying to build the international business portfolio and trying to see how we can make it faster, and the marketplace portfolio. Both were very small, but I wanted an entry into the exciting e-commerce company and journey. And that was the reason that I said, yes, whatever I've learned in 2021 years will not suffice, but I would love to be a student again and come and join. And it was absolutely true. Nothing that Myntra was doing had I ever known before. So whether it be how to grow international business online, how to interact with international business partners, how to make them understand the potential of India and get them launched on the platform. All of that was exciting and new. At the same time, marketplace was very new at Myntra. Making policies for marketplace, Omni, all of this was very, very exciting. So yeah, I was a student again, but at the same time, kind of also learning along the way. Now I currently handle the core business of Myntra, which is fashion, which is apparel and footwear of Myntra. And my main job is to kind of see that whatever you see on the Myntra platform, whatever you love coming to Myntra for, that you continue doing. So whether it be our selection design, whether it be our pricing, whether it be our experience, whether the brands that we get, the trends that we get, you continue loving Myntra for that and keep coming back. And as you know, it is a very, very exciting, complex, and challenging job as such. But yeah, you live every day for the excitement that it brings. Yeah.
Thanks a lot, Jayanti. Thank you for sharing your experience, and I'm sure a lot of folks here would be able to resonate with your journey. Same question to you, Vindhya. I think we have quite a few women who have actually joined from the tech world, aspiring tech professionals. So if you could also just, a snapshot of your experiences so far, right? And yeah, that'll be good.
Yeah, good evening, everyone. I'm just so excited to talk to all of you. I just feel nostalgic because this is how I also started 25 years ago, right? So just to, 25 years, I just going to crunch it up. So I passed out of engineering college in 99, and I come from Tier 2 city, Tier 2 college. And my only, goal in life at that point in time was to get a job, like after I finished my engineering. That was the only goal. And with that goal and aspiration, I set out to, come to Bangalore from Coimbatore. And and for Tier 2 colleges, if you see, there was only one few companies that were hiring off campus, which is Infosys, Wipro, and TCS. And so I want to give it a shot. I came to Bangalore, and I still remember one book that I had, which is the Shakuntala Devi book, and it had like 120 problem-solving questions. And I know that if I solve all of these questions, maybe I have a chance of getting a job. And I just had like 1.5 months to prepare, and I did all the problems and figured out the solutions. And that time you don't have a PC, you don't have a laptop, you have to go to a browsing center, pay them for 30 minutes, 1 minute, and figure out. And that's how it all started. And I cracked the Infosys interview. And from there on, the journey started. I joined them as a developer, and almost like 8 to 9 years I spent in Infosys. And if you see over the past 25 years, I've not shifted a lot. And in fact, Myntra is my fourth company. After 8 to 9 years, then from a service company, I shifted to a product organization, which is EMC. So EMC gave me, totally different shift in thinking of how a service organization works versus how a product organization works. And EMC also, gave a new, that time, all the new technologies were coming up. From monolith to microservices, cloud-based solutions were coming up. So I've learned a lot and spent a lot of time in EMC. And after EMC, then I got an opportunity in Visa. Visa, one thing that I learned is all about security and building trust. I did not have much exposure into a fintech domain, and Visa taught me that like how a fintech ecosystem works, which is like really, really huge. Like there is a big, ecosystem of card networks, the payment gateways, the banks. So that is what Visa gave me. And one missing piece of the puzzle was e-commerce, which I always wanted to work in. And that's when Myntra happened during COVID time. I quickly grabbed the opportunity, and it's almost like it's going to be 4 years now in June. And in Myntra, as you all know, I handle engineering teams, part of Storefront, primarily focused on customer experience. And I handle search, then payment ecosystem, cart wishlist, customer growth, some of these charters. And our goal is to make sure that, the systems are stable, the infra is stable, we build awesome innovative features from a tech standpoint. And I want all of you to explore and use it. So that's my journey so far. Yeah.
Great. Thanks, Jayanti. Thanks, Vindhya. I think I'm sure a lot of folks over here will be able to associate in terms of the variety of experience that both of you bring to the table. Now I'll just take a step back, okay? And like both of you said, it's kind of a nostalgia, right? So many students over here, 20, 25 years of experience. Right now, of course, in hindsight, like we say, all of us are wiser, right? With like few more extra gray hair, I think we can. But when, if you ever to ask you to take a step back, okay, and imagine yourself as a student or somebody who is pursuing, their graduation or post-graduation, uh, what, according to you, are some of the thought process, right, that goes in your mind? Like, for example, how do you decide, okay, which streams, which organizations, how do I build a career, right? Of course, now in the hindsight, all of us have a bit of clarity, but when you were back then in the campus, right, how do you think your thought process? Like, did you just say, I will go with the flow, or did you really have a path for yourself? Like, if you were to just, suggest a college going student, how do they start thinking about career, assuming you were there back then? Like maybe I'll go with Vindhya first, you, and then Jayanti, you.
Okay. Since we're talking about, I see the most of the folks here are like coming from the tech world. So from a tech perspective, I would say there are few things that you want to keep in mind when you're in college and you're looking forward for entering into this whole industry. So not in particular order, there are four things that, that's there in top of my mind. One is to develop your core technical skills, and which means the problem solving skills. So there are two aspects to it, I think, which all of you, already familiar with. One is your DS and algos, and understanding them, having that foundational knowledge about DS and algos, and where to apply what and how to solve these problems. So how do you get this? By, practice, and not just one problem. You solve 10 problems, you solve 20 problems. So you get into that mind of thinking, how you're solving the problems, right? So that's a very foundational skill. And the second thing, which is so important, is building curiosity to know about things. Say, for example, you're all shoppers. You do shopping in multiple websites. So it's not about just shopping, like, understanding of what goes behind the scenes. Say, for example, when you're searching for something, you search for a lot of things. You put in some keywords, you put in some brands, you put in some article types. So it fetches the results. Trying to understand, okay, how is it fetching the results? When you type a natural language, oh, I'm going to Goa, what will the system understand? Why is it not understanding that, versus when you type a keyword, it's understanding something, right? And also when you hit your payment transaction, pay now button, or submit your order, what's happening behind the scenes? Is the request staying, say, in Myntra, or is it going elsewhere? And what is the transaction look like? So building that curiosity is very, very important. When you're using the apps, you can do that. That will trigger your thought process to go and research. That will trigger your thought process to go and talk to your friends, to understand more about things. So I feel that is also very crucial skill. And other thing, the third one, which really helped me is in my past, is having your own pet projects. I call it pet projects or self-driven projects, right? So it's not possible to know like every other technology. And, so what you can do is just pick up one of the technologies, and you have to experiment with it, because it's not about just reading a blog, understanding something. It's about doing stuff. So you can have small pet projects, because by practically applying it, you're going to learn a lot more than, what you're going to read or what you're going to understand. So that I felt, which helped me a lot. I just used to take, okay, one cache solution, be it Redis, or maybe one data store, Elasticsearch, download it into your laptop and exactly work through how it is working. Spend some time alone in understanding stuff by doing it. So that kind of helped me a lot. I think, which is also important for all of you guys, to bring in that clarity of how actually things work, right? And the last, thing that I was thought, which all of us should have, is adaptability, right? So now a lot of things are going on in the industry, trying to keep up pace with what's happening in the industry and adapt yourself. So there are so many tools out there. How do you explore these tools? How do you use your tools in your daily day-to-day work that you're doing? So these are some of the 4 things that I feel you have to keep in mind to prepare yourself, to take your next step forward. So, you don't, feel overwhelmed at the last minute. You have to build these things as you're studying. It just helps a lot. Yeah. So, Hema, so these are my thoughts around, how you can prepare yourself.
No, I think thank you, Vindhya, especially, suggestion of what they want to pick and prioritize. Some, at least one thing, right, that they want to learn is really, really crucial. So thanks for sharing, Vindhya. Jayanti, if you were to just take a step back in college, the college Jayanti, right? What would be your suggestion? How could people, and now that you have seen, the world more closely, what would be a suggestion if they were to start thinking of building a career?
Yeah, no, so if like I think it's quite similar, and I was also very surprised because you would think business and tech there will be some different things going on, but I think the core is quite similar. Okay, so there is one part which was very important to me, that whatever be my first job or first company, learning has to be a very important part of it. I was very hungry to learn everything that was going around, and therefore any company or anything which was limiting my knowledge was like a one small vertical that you get into, and you keep going up that vertical was an absolute no-no for me. I was hungrier for jobs and for companies which were give me a wider exposure and can be move me everywhere. And hence the reason that when I chose Aditya Birla, they had this program where they will put you in something, then they'll put you in something else, they'll put you in a factory, they'll put you in a trade setup, they'll put you to run a store. So you get the flavor of everything that is happening around, and that was so foundational. And trust me, it changes you as a person when you know something holistically, like even Vindhya was talking about. It changes your perspective of things, and that is when you start having ideas of what you should be doing, what is your opinion, how it should be done differently. And I think couple it with a little bit of getting your hands dirty early on in life. So early on in life, I've always said, ditch the AC office. Don't think that you have to sit in a nice cushy chair in a comfortable office in a tower. Get out in the market, meet as many people as you're doing, do all the hard things early on in life, right? So that when you kind of build this as a foundation, you know what it takes, right? And small thing which has helped me is also, I think, just showing up. Whether it be an event of the company is doing, a party company is doing, whether it's a team celebration, a team outing, an event like this. Early on in life, I figured out that if you kind of participate in as many events and show up, I think your perspective of people, the company, what others are doing, hearing from them, it again changes something very substantial in you. And these are all things which you will put in your repository. And as you keep growing, this will always be there for you. Yeah.
Great. Thanks, Jayanti. I mean, now that both of you were talking about your college, I was also thinking, right? Some of these things don't change with time, right? It doesn't matter whichever age, whichever generation you were there. Uh, Very, very important. I think that hunger to learn, that eagerness, curiosity, I think those are something that has to stay with us even at the start of the career and as we proceed also. So thank you for sharing. Now, Vidya, over to you, right? Specifically, if I were to look at technology and the way it is emerging, right? What, according to you, are some of the most relevant and valuable technical skills in times like today, especially for women who want to enter, say, e-commerce, right? Are there specific technical skills you would recommend them to focus, learn on, which will be relevant?
Okay, so I think in talking about say e-commerce, right? Maybe e-commerce started, online e-commerce started say 30 years ago, somewhere around late 2000, 1995 when Amazon started. And I think most of you folks are not even born maybe during that time. So I don't know how much you will relate to it. So how it is having a drastic transformation from there, right? So initially it started with like plain HTML pages, static pages, and just with a list of product listing, no secure payments at all, and just someone has to just place the order, right? That was the first 10 years of how the e-commerce was looking like. And then after that, if you see the past 2 decades, a lot of things have changed in terms of technology. So when I say that, you can like kind of break it up like, front end, you see responsive design, mobile first designs, and also if you see back end, the number of technologies that we have had for past 2 decades, 20 years is phenomenal in terms of caches or in terms of data stores that we're using, in terms of a performance of the entire platform, if you look at it. So phenomenal change in, the technology that we've seen in 20 years to now what we can say that we are in this phase of AI commerce, I can say, from mobile commerce to AI commerce, where if you see like an app like Myntra, like completely the app is like personalized, so we know exactly what the user wants, what the user's preferences are. So we hyper personalize right from say homepage to your listings to all the things you check out in terms of providing recommendations or similar or products that whatever the user wants. So we are truly in AI commerce, but looking forward also, there's a lot of disruption that is going to happen with Gen AI. So when I'm talking about skills, what you want to ramp up on, we are in the middle of what was done in the past, where you need to have a good understanding of what has been happening in the past and the future, now being very adaptive and accommodating what is happening around us with all the tools that is coming, exploring the tools. I think all of you have already now, started looking into a lot of tools. ChatGPT, almost everybody uses. There is Perplexity, there is DeepSeek, and there is for designs, you have Canva, Midjourney. So I think you all started exploring, but how do you explore more of it and prepare yourself so you're not missing out on the future that we don't know? At the same time, you should not also lose context of the past. So I think somewhere you need to sandwich these two things, because we are in that phase. Anticipate that there is a big revolution that is going to happen. Gen AI is going to disrupt everything in future. So be prepared for it and don't go unprepared. Know about the tools, but that doesn't mean you should not do anything that we're not doing. So, what we've done so far. So now I'm confused, like when I'm talking to my son, all this while I used to sit with him and, teach him algos. Okay, how do you do this? How do you do that? But now I'm like skeptical and I'm thinking, should I even teach him? Should he even know about this? Right? Does it even matter? Because is it going to be required? Right? I don't know, like, whether so we are in this confused phase right now, but I think we should embrace things however it comes. Don't lose your past context. Keep doing whatever you were doing, and have that curiosity to know everything, go deeper, and that is still the case. And expect the future and prepare for the future. Use the tools as much as possible, and be adaptive to what is going to come for future. Yeah, so that's my take on it, Hema. Yeah.
Great. No, and thank you so much, Vindhya, and thank you for sharing the context and how technology, I think, is evolving at such a rapid speed. So thanks for that. Coming to you, Jayanti, women leader in sales, like women in tech. Actually, in general, I can generalize. Women in corporates is something that as a country we have a lot to work on. But specifically talking about you finding your feet in the world of sales, right? Were there moments of self-doubt, and how did you navigate those, right? Typically, it is said, while it's a bias, that sales is generally a man's job, right? I'm sure you did not have it easy. At points where you had self-doubt, and how do you, manage it, mentors, allies? Do you even believe that there were moments of self-doubt at all?
Yeah, no. I think Hema, you asking that because you see me now, but there were times when, like, I think imposter syndrome that I am not very good, and if things are happening to me because I'm lucky, is a syndrome that most women have, and I was surprised that so many women. I used to think I'm the only one who has it, but there was a name for it, and there are so many women who have it, and I think it's very much similar. When something is going right, you kind of think that it is because of all of our things, but something is going wrong, it's me. And that is, I think, a very inherent trait that I think most women have. And sometimes it's contradictory to doing sales, which is meant to be something where you show a lot of confidence and get out and say I've done this and stuff and all that. But I think you bring your own personality types, and I think the beauty that I mean I've seen in this journey is that yes, there are not too many women, but the women who are there are very, very good. And that, I think, makes me believe that there are certain inherent traits that a woman brings to the table, whether it be a sense of balance, whether it be a sense of understanding the base and the root far more. Not that men don't do it, but I'm just saying that I think women need to trust themselves a lot more as they get into these roles. I think a lot of our internal inhibitions hold us back. So that is one thing. Second, I would like to say that once you start at it, okay, you will be surprised at how many people come to support you. And I have been very, very lucky, right? I have had such amazing mentors in the industry, whether it be in my previous organization, in this organization. And if you're willing to take feedback, and which I think is another trait a lot of women must cultivate and must have, that take feedback without any it's personal or anything, and if you're able to work on it, you will have such amazing people mentoring you along the way, and those are so critical. Because trust me, there will be blind spots, there will be spots where you don't see yourself, and you will have to fall back on somebody who tells you that, hey, you didn't do this right, you did this right. So yeah, I think these are the things. I don't know if I've answered the question, Hema, correctly.
No, I think there is no right or wrong answer for this kind of question. It is just an experience and what you make out from the experience. So I'm pretty sure it must be resonating with a lot of people, and especially with me, right? Uh, yeah, everybody has those self-doubts.
Sorry, Hema. One more thing I wanted to add. I think a lot
Please.
of women are there from the Phoenix program, and I must tell that being a mother myself, and you always think this as a break, right? Maternity as a break in your career, a break in something, because and it's again a time when every woman chooses her own path. Some kind of decide to take a break, some decide to continue, and again, there are no right or wrong answers. I think every person should do what they feel right without any guilt. I, for myself, chose that I will not take a break and went ahead and did that. It takes a lot. The feeling of guilt continues on both sides, work and at home, but you somehow manage and do like a balancing act there. So, yeah, again, those are the times when I think it tries us the most. But yeah.
Great. No. Thanks a lot, Jayanti. I am sure at some stage most of them may not relate to how life changes at different milestones with marriage, with children. But yeah, I mean, it only becomes tougher. But I think, like you said, at every stage you need the right kind of sponsors and support system to come together. So thank you so much, Jayanti. Vindhya, over to you with the next question. And I think there's some questions coming on as we speak. Specifically, if most of them are college students, right? So they also are looking at opportunities to join Myntra or other organizations as interns and maybe full-time hires. What are the skills that you look for, right? If you were to hire an intern today in your team, right? What are some of the skills or even behavior and technical that you would expect from them?
So I think partially I covered this in the beginning. So basically, one is the core technical skills. You cannot compromise on that. That is very important, and that how do you do it? And you need to give it enough time and practice. Because just 1 or 2 weeks before the interview, you cannot sit with all the problem solving questions. That's not going to help you. So you have to build a repetitive habit to ramp up on problem solving, right? And there are so many options right now. You have lead code, you have hacker rank, and pick up like 1 or 2 hours every day. and solve like maybe couple of problems, two or three problems, right? That will build up the way how you think about problem solving. So because even in the interview, you get a problem which you cannot solve, that is still okay, because you will be able to converse all the practice things that you've done. You will be able to suggest something which is closer to that algorithm, right? So that itself is good enough. So to give you that confidence for the interview, right? You might get the interview problem wrong. That's still okay. But for you to build that self-confidence, you need to put that effort, time and effort into building that problem-solving skills. I think that's the core skills that you cannot miss. Second thing is having the right attitude is also important. The, attitude to give your best attitude, to do what can I do my best in the situation, right? So that has to clearly come out in your interviews, and stay curious to know. I talked about it a little bit. So these are some of the qualities that you look for in a fresher, right? You don't have to know everything. That's not what is the expectation. It's just that, you do, what you're supposed to do and bring that to the table, talk about it as much as possible, and people will know like what you bring in, right? So that is what I feel is important. Yeah.
Thanks, Vindhya. I think good to hear from you about the traits and what you look for in interns. Jayanti, one question for you. Stepping back from what we are discussing, if of course, e-commerce is changing every day, right? What are some of the emerging business trends, right, that you see today, which are very exciting and which kind of motivates you to get up from bed and come to office every day? Like, okay, so what are some of the exciting stuff happening in e-commerce and in Myntra?
Yeah, no, super. I think a lot is happening. I was thinking what all things to pick up. But if I were to say a top few things, and I'll talk fashion first and I'll come to e-commerce. Earlier, fashion was a domain where you see something as a fashion trend in a Milan or a New York, and then it takes 6 months, somebody else copies it, then it comes to India after a year. And that is what it was, I would say, 20 years back, 15 years back, right? What is so exciting right now is not just e-commerce, the whole Instagram opportunity and the whole way how people are consuming trends are here and now. There is no season in trends anymore. So all of autumn, winter, spring, summer, yes, they're there in paper because we do things as seasons, but trends are now happening every week. This is trending, that is trending, and suddenly the entire world of fashion is disrupted. If you know a trend, if you don't have to be in Milan to see that trend firsthand, if you know a trend today even before it happened in Milan, you can replicate it faster than Milan, right? And that is what is happening in this entire industry right now. And that revolution is very, very exciting to see a small seller from Tirupur actually using AI to do designing for a trend which he has spotted on the internet, 2 days back, right? And that is exciting, and he's producing it, testing it on Myntra. So that's what is super exciting. I think the other part is also how speed has kind of disrupted completely in our minds. Quick commerce, by making us addictive to the fact that you don't have to go grocery shopping once a week, take your cart along, suddenly getting your grocery in 10 minutes, has also changed your perception of fashion. So while you do want something which is trending right now, you also want it right now. It is, you don't want to wait for a day or two. So that whole speed disruption, the way it is happening, and the challenges that it throws for us, from how do we design a lot of these things for our consumers, is also a very, very exciting phase. And third, how marketing is changing. I don't know if there are a lot of marketing folks. Again, marketing has changed completely from what it used to be, that you make a product, then you tom about it, and then somebody sees it, likes it, thinks of buying it, buys it, right? Today, marketing is again so here and now. Today, I'm sitting with you, an ad pops up, hey, this is what it is, etc. And you consume it in that moment. And how do you consume it? What is that consumer psychology while you're doing it? These are amazing opportunities ahead. And every day, this industry is getting disrupted to another level. And if for one day I feel that I don't see the news, I will miss out on something. So everything has an impact. Even Trump tariffs has an impact on what we are doing today. So you have to be almost on your toes and keep saying how will you kind of leverage this opportunity.
Great. Thanks, Jayanti. Thanks for the tip. And of course, also given that all of us are in Myntra, I can vouch for everything that you just said. The only thing constant in Myntra is change and the rate at which we, evolve, whether from a tech side, from a business perspective. Yeah, so exciting times to be in Myntra. Now I will move to a little bit of fun, rapid fire questions. For those of you who hopefully will get an opportunity to come and do internship with us or come and just be a part of the Myntra office for a day, it's a very fun office, right? And we also include certain fun when we invite leaders from Myntra to just come and be a part of such sessions. So, you know the grill, both of you, Vindhya and Jayanti. I'll ask one question to each of you and maybe the same question to both of you at times. You have just like, you have to immediately respond, no time to think. Like, whatever the first thing that it's like tougher than coffee with Karan. I don't have a gift hamper, but nevertheless. So, I'll start with maybe you, Jayanti. If your career were to turn into a movie, who
Yeah.
would play you and what would be the title? I'm also taking the liberty of shuffling some questions.
If my career was a movie,
Yes.
then I think it'll be that movie of Amir Khan, that Dangal, that coach, not giving up, putting his team together, again coming back into the battle. Yeah, that kind of a thing.
And who would play you? Like, if you have to select one actor who can play Jayanti's role in that movie.
Amir Khan only.
Yeah, I like it, like gender agnostic. Like you like the actor and he can play the role. Great, great. Thanks. For you, Vindhya, what is that one skill you are currently working on? Like, especially given that you are from tech world, I'm sure you also continue to focus on learning. So if I have to ask you, what is Vindhya learning today?
So I think the common answer is Gen AI. So
Mhm.
I'm exploring all the tools that I can as much as possible. So I named a few. One is the chat apps. Another thing that we are exploring is also all the code editors. Like there are a bunch of code editors that are going to help and support you, in your in developing software. So there's Codium, there's Cursor, there's Microsoft Copilot. So I'm just trying to explore and learn as much as possible. So every day is like 1 hour at least goes in, keeping pace, as Jayanti was saying. If you don't catch up, you're just going to miss the boat. So it's like mandatory 1 hour slot that is gone only for catching up on things. So yeah, it is Gen AI for sure.
Great. I think maybe I also need to connect with you offline, Vindhya, because I think from a learning perspective, I keep telling my team that it's one of the, you know how earlier agile used to be the word. Like for everything, everybody has to be agile. Right now, Gen AI is, you don't even know how Gen AI will be applied. Everything has Gen AI. So it's the new agile of this century. So I will connect offline with you to see how we can do more Gen AI interesting stuff. Now, I have already pinged with the team members. I have low battery. Unfortunately, timing tech is not helping me, Vindhya. My laptop may crash any minute. If it does, you will have to give me 30 seconds. I will log in again. But till my charge for my laptop is there. One last question for you, Jayanti. Uh, what's an unusual thing, right, in which you have found inspiration for a brand design? Like anything which is very unusual and you found inspiration in that.
No, I think people do it all the time. There is so much, like when you travel, you see a beautiful store. Recently, I went to a store, and you would know about it. There's this luxury brand called Hermes, right? It doesn't sell anything because the bags are all sold out. But the store looks stunning. The staff will tell you everything about the store, right? And it will tell you every damn thing that you need to know, and then say, sorry, you're waitlisted or stuff something. And I was thinking that, how do we replicate that in Myntra, that it doesn't have to be a transaction, it could be something which is upcoming, etc. So I mean, every time you meet something, you see something, it kind of inspires you, and how will you kind of change that perspective. I saw a sneaker brand, a lot of you would know, Golden Goose, right? These are worn, torn out sneakers, and the look is very used, right? And it's a beautiful brand. It's an Italian brand, and they do all sorts of customizations. And I saw a host of youngsters walking in for these soiled, used sneakers, and they want to do customization on top. Again, every consumer is so different, and how do you kind of build on that? These are the things that you kind of learn on every travel and kind of keep thinking about it.
Great, awesome, Jayanti. I have never been to Hermes store. I think now because I always thought I can't afford that bag, but nevertheless, I can go for the experience because they will anyways waitlist me, so nothing to lose. Great, Vindhya, the last question for you. If you were if I given a choice, which of the technical skill or Myntra app, okay, would be a superpower, and would it be and why?
Okay. If you ask me, a feature that will be a superpower in future, right? I would say reading customers' minds If AI can do that when they log into the app, I exactly know what they want, you know, real-time personalization. We do offer personalization based on the past data, like, AI, if it could crack that, and that would be an amazing feature. So we know exactly what we want to show them so that they can purchase. So something like a real-time or futuristic personalization. Even before they know that, okay, they want something, we show them this is what you want, right? That'll be
Actually,
a cool thing to do.
I will say go one step ahead. Okay. We should be able to read their mind when there's
And
some
read your
that,
mind,
okay,
exactly.
and then
Read
be
your
able
mind.
to like, that's going to be a super cool
Yeah.
thing. You're thinking of something and oh my God, that's
And yeah, you're giving it. They don't even know they're thinking, and we are
yeah,
already showing them.
exactly.
That will be the super
That's
coolest.
what Instagram does, right? Sometimes if something has come out of my mouth also in some conversation with my husband, the next minute I have Instagram feeds just full of that products, right? And I'm like, dude,
True.
this like, but that is life now. Nothing is private.
Yeah.
But great. Thanks, Vindhya. Thanks, Jayanti. I'm just conscious of time. There were some questions which had also been collected from the audience, and from the students before the session.
Yeah, we do have a couple of them. So I would like to start by thanking actually Hema, Jayanti, and Vidya. It was quite an insightful session. A lot of really good tips, like going back when Hema kept on saying that, okay, we remember our colleges. We would have loved, we did have access, but the access was limited. So I think the great thing about I think tech now is, with Zoom and everything, we can connect from any part of the world and, get connected with anyone who's in the other part of the world, any time zone as well. So a lot of great insights. Thank you very much. And I can see where the inspirations for, what you're saying, that they don't know what they need. Like M now is something I think I did not know I needed. But when M Now was launched, I'm like, okay, this is something that I think I need and I can consider as well. So I can see the innovative minds of the leaders and the entire team at Myntra that you have. Going forward, I do have a couple of interesting questions. One of them I think is obviously all surrounding the internships. How are we going to get it? So I'm going to leave that for Hema once she comes back, or maybe Sonora can take it up. But I think for you, Jayanti and Vindhya, I'm just going to ask maybe 2 to 3 questions in interest of time, and any of you can take it up. A lot of the students are asking that how do we know which is the job for us? Like some jobs come with comfort, and some jobs will come with difficulty. So how do we know what is the best for us?
Vidya, you want to take that? Or you want?
Yeah,
Yeah.
sure. I can just give it a shot. So one is so now see skills basically, you have to be adaptive to the skills that you're working on. So maybe you can focus on one thing and see if that is really interesting for you. If it is really interesting for you, then you start going deeper and deeper into it, right? And so you will know naturally after spending some time that is this what I want to pursue or not. If if you don't get a signal like in a couple of weeks or so, then maybe I would say, but you're going to be in the same domain, you're not going to drastically shift your role. So within the same domain, say for example front end versus back end, right? These technologies are totally different, but you can give it a shot. Even now I have a lot of folks who come and say, no, Vindhya, I want to try back end, and some of the front end folks have moved to back end technologies. So what I would suggest is explore. There's nothing wrong in exploring, and see if that interests you and you want to do more of it and continue doing that. And one skill, if you get thoroughly well, then moving into any alternate skill is not a big deal at all. It's very relative, right? So keep you should keep that in mind. Assess yourself, retrospect yourself. Is this something that you want to do more of? If not, then always there is an option to shift to a different technology or a different framework or even a different role. So I think it's okay to explore and not be forcing yourself to do something which you're not aligned enough, right? Initially, you have to have that belief because you have to start somewhere. So you need to have that belief system to start somewhere, start with a specific skill, maybe front end or back end, or any of the technologies, any of the roles, be it product or tech or non-tech, that's fine. But once you travel that path, if it's not of interest to you, that is when you have to retrospect and course correct if required. So in my journey, what I felt is there is no right or wrong decisions. So everything, life is there to explore, and you can't say that, okay, I took a right decision or this is a wrong decision. So that is nothing like that. So life is to explore, experiment, life is to fail, and life is also to succeed, right? You need to have both of this. So failures teaches you much more better lessons than success does. So take this as an experiment, and there's no good way or right way or bad way to it. So that's my advice. So I'll say, Pooja.
You so much. And I think this kind of makes sense. I think when I was in college, it kind of did not make sense to me. But I mean, once you've transferred and you've had a corporate life, you kind of know that flexibility, I think, is key. But also at the same time, keeping in perspective that this aligns with, what my skill set is and what I have interest in. Thank you so much, Vindhya. Jayanti, one question for you is, how does Myntra, identify and nurture leadership potential, in the company, especially when women are there and they are underrepresented groups also? Like, if you could talk a little bit about that.
No, so I think at Myntra, first of all, the beauty is that there's so many diverse fields that you could actually look at, right? We have been able to move people from within various functions, so whether it be core business to something from sourcing to something else to logistics. Like there have been so many movements across to strategy, etc. I think career movement becomes very fluid, and as Vindhya was talking about, you are able to say, okay, I've learned this, I want to pivot here, go here, etc. And I think that flow is maintained very well at Myntra. Second, I think what I love about Myntra is the work culture, and that is the biggest nurturing fact about Myntra. And I can say this, probably one of the best work cultures that I have had a pleasure. I've worked with some great companies, right? The reality is that you are accountable for your work, right? You kind of have to do what you have to do. Nobody is going to let you down the hook for that. But you have the flexibility of coming in, going in. There is flexibility of leaves. There is flexibility of wellness leaves. There is so much that Myntra has to offer for you as a person when you have to take care of things at the other end, and yet you have to deliver. I think that balance is amazing. It's something which a lot of both men and women, I would say, find very, very energizing, that I am accountable for my work, but I kind of get to decide the time that I kind of spend in office, right? We are not a punch in, punch out system, which can be very, very draining for some people, right? These are things which are very alien to us, that, somebody has to punch it at 9, punch out at, these are not systems that we work for. And all this creates a very, I would say, very creative and atmosphere where everybody brings what they have to the table, which creates a tension amongst people. Then you either get convinced or convince somebody else. And these are great recipes for growing individually and also in your career. Yeah.
Definitely, for sure. I think everybody does want to work with Myntra, and we've seen it time and again because we can see it in the kind of culture that is there. And all the best to everyone who is actually joining in here and with the anticipation that they get an internship. Myntra, I think, is a company who's really, committed to the cause. We've been working closely. We had 5 girls already visit your office. And this time, I think there's an internship opportunity as well, which is great. And we're already, working on other programs as well for the community on different levels. So I think it's a great space to be in. Uh, Sorry, audience, this is the amount of time we have. Oh, we have Hema. Hema, if you could, just take a quick minute to talk about the internships because we have a couple of new people. What I just want to put from my end is I am in the chat box sharing a couple of links, which will help you connect with the she-commerce community. Join the links and, the Telegram group and go and explore the she-commerce page. All the previous sessions, there is a learning link there. They have been uploaded there. There's also a Wisdom Wednesday wherein there is a free LinkedIn session. Courses are posted there, so go and avail of those resources as well. So explore all of these links and register yourself so that you are in touch with us and then whatever's happening here within the she-commerce space. Also, Jayanti spoke about mentorship, that how important mentorship has been in her journey and how important it is. So we at Aspire for are also running a mentorship program, wherein we have industry leaders, uh, actually, donate their time to actually come and speak to you. So I'm also posting that link in the chat box here. So do avail if you are looking for any kind of mentorship, and there are multiple areas that you can select from, like overcoming imposter syndrome is, I think, somebody who's already in the system, or like is entering the system, should actually go through it. That is something you've identified for yourself, and the team is here to connect with you if you have any questions or queries as well. Over to you, Hema, to talk a little about the internship.
Yeah, so sorry. Definitely, technology has failed me at the last minute, but I can't blame anyone. Laptop had full charge, all of a sudden discharged. But on the technology, on the internship, like we said, the idea of the program is really to get students, particularly women, excited about continuing work, excited about joining corporates, and excited about building long-term careers. As a part of that, there are two available options for folks. One is a few internships, which people will do in different teams in Mitra, and there is an opportunity to visit our Myntra office and spend some time to see behind the scene how does actually an e-commerce operate. On the internship, we are fairly flexible. It is not restricted to any particular college or any particular domain. Of course, it has to be relevant to what Myntra is doing. Once we have completed the 3 sessions, like today was the second session, we will have one more session planned in the upcoming weeks. Once we have the attendance from all of the 3 sessions, we will look at what kind of background and experience you have, and what kind of opportunities Myntra has at that point in time. Because we really take our internships with a sense of pride, and something that where we give actual live business problems to interns to solve for. So depending on what is available at that point of time, and the subject matter experts, or the area of if you're a tech person, what is the area of engineering, etc. If you're a NIFT graduate, design. So depending on that, we will shortlist a bunch of you, and then there is going to be a very simple, I wouldn't call it interview, but a screening process, right? Which we do for all our internships. We just want to ensure that you meet the basic requirements that is there for any kind of internship in Myntra. Fairly simple. Attend the 3 sessions. We will look at your attendance. We will look at your background. We will look at the options available. Do a basic screening, and then some of you who will get an opportunity to do internship at Myntra. We are flexible with timelines, given that it's not a part of a curriculum or academic requirement. Depending on the availability of the student, Myntra is actually flexible to open that internship. Ideally, internship of 3 to 4 months is a bare minimum when we look at the tenure of internships. But we are flexible with duration, we are flexible with timeline, depending on the projects that Myntra has. And of course, these internships will be paid. We don't believe in free labor. You're going to be a part of an organization that really stands for it. So these all will be paid internships.
Sure, thank you so much. Like I said, we have posted a couple of links. If you join the Telegram group to start with, I'll repost all the links there again to get in touch with us. A couple of you have mentioned that you're not able to open the attendance form. Attendance is marked if you put in your correct details with Zoom. So that is there. It is for some of them, who have not, maybe they've come through a direct link, but nonetheless, any questions still, please write to support@aspireforher.com. We will, come back to you with the relevant answers as well. Before exiting, we also have another small poll, which will, if you could kindly take the time, it'll help us, curate future sessions as well. So if you could, just give a quick rating, to the session, how did you like it, and what is your experience been? While they're doing that, I would like to thank everyone from Myntra who joined us today, Jayanti, Vindhya, Hema, for taking your time out and actually, coming and talking to the community and giving such great insights and being available for them. Uh, I am pretty sure a lot of them are walking away with a lot of information, and they're going to come back asking for more information as well. So we will, pass on if we have any queries to you also. But thank you so much for your time.
Thank you, everyone.
Thank you so much, everyone. Pleasure interacting, and look forward to the session 3. The details will be shared in due course, and look forward to an as active and as enthusiastic participation. Thank you so much, everyone.
Thank you. I'm just going to take another 10 seconds and then close the poll. So it's great to see that a lot of you are confident now and you enjoyed the session. You can obviously use the support ID to kind of, put in any questions and queries also that you have. I'm going to repost the links once again. Felicia, if you could do that. The attendance form link has also been shared. And like I said, if you come through relevant credentials through the Zoom, this will be treated as an attendance as well. Thank you very much, Prasiddhi. I'm glad that you liked the session. Felicia, if you could just once more, post all the links, and we'll take just 5 seconds and then we'll close this. Drishta, if you have attended the first session and if you came through valid valid Zoom credentials, your attendance would have been marked. But nonetheless, please email to us at support@aspireforher.com. Most welcome, Shraddha. I'm glad you liked. Okay. So with this, thank you for being a wonderful audience, and we will now see you for session 3. Thank you so much and have a great evening. Good night. Thank you.